Channel 5 News at 5.
A T-shirt found nailed to a tree causing quite a stir among residents in McAllen. They say the name on the shirt is a group at war with the drug cartels. And a warning from the FBI. Scammers are out in full force this holiday season. Our John Bartel is standing by with what you need to know. Thank you for joining us on Channel 5 News at 5. I'm Oscar Adame. Melissa Correa has a day off, and we'll get to those stories in a minute. But first, new details on a raid that happened in rural neighborhoods this morning in Hidalgo County. 11 criminals are off the streets. 4 homes were raided this morning in South Alamo and Donna. The arrests were connected to recent shootings. Our Michael Scott has been working this story all day long. He joins us now live at the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office with the latest details. Michael?
Yeah, Oscar, we just met with authorities here at the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office. We're told a total of 4 search warrants were executed today. 3 of those search warrants were for homes in the South Alamo neighborhood. One of those just next door for a home in Donna. Now, the arrests were connected to 5 shootings that happened in the beginning of this month. All the shootings happening within 24 hours from each other. Some of those were deadly. Authorities spent hours today on this operation. The U.S. Marshals and ATF assisted with the Sheriff's Office. A slew of charges on these individuals. We're talking aggravated arrest, criminal attempted murder, endangering a child, possession of marijuana. Authorities tell us these crimes are gang related. The Sheriff's Office says this area of the county is in need of attention. Here's what they had to say about it.
It's just not going to be tolerated. So he's given us his directive, and subsequently the investigators, the tactical units, the special operations teams conducted surveillances. This was not a short-sighted plan. This is a part of a long-sighted plan to give that area the attention it needs.
So a big push here from the SO to crack down on gang activity. That means more patrols in the street. Some of these charges may be upgraded to felony charges. Now, we're not going to release all the names until they are fully arraigned and go before a judge. That's supposed to happen sometime tomorrow. We're live outside the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office tonight. Michael Scott, Channel 5 News at 5.
Also this afternoon, new developments in the murder of a Mission man earlier this week. One suspect has been charged with his murder. Edgar Gomez was allegedly pistol whipped at his home on Marshall Drive. He was found shot and bleeding to death at another home. Channel 5's Eddie Flores was at the arraignment. He joins us live from our McAllen Bureau with all the details. Eddie?
Well, Oscar, we're finding out that an outstanding debt is what may have been behind the shooting death of Edgar Gomez. Now, this was seen about an hour and a half ago in court as 26-year-old Juan Miguel Miranda went before a judge and was charged with capital murder. Sheriff's officials say the victim, Edgar Gomez, gave investigators Miranda's name just before he died in the hospital early yesterday morning. But investigators say Gomez referred to Miranda by his nickname, Monchis. Investigators also say Gomez was shot once in the lower back as he tried to get away outside a friend's house not too far from his own home. Deputies say an outstanding debt may have been the motive behind the shooting, although they're not sure what the debt was over. They say perhaps drugs or human smuggling. Police say surveillance video that has not been released to the media also shows Miranda at the scene of where the crime occurred. Now, Miranda was given a $1 million bond by the judge, and investigators say multiple arrests actually could occur in this particular murder case. Reporting live from the Hidalgo County Bureau, I'm Eddie Flores for Channel 5 News at 5.
Clouds have dominated across the valley again today, and temperatures have stayed mild. Not quite as warm as yesterday because the clouds were just a little bit thicker. There are the currents, 71 to 72 degrees across the area with wind light out of the south-southeast. Looks like the next couple of days, clouds are not going anywhere. A close look at that First Warn 5 forecast is coming up in a few minutes.
And this just into our newsroom, a 25-year-old man from Port Isabel is missing. Our Shelley Childers joins us live from the police department. Okay, we understand that we're going to check back with Shelley here in just a moment, but I do want to tell you about a report that is coming out tonight on Channel 5 News at 10. Your children may be closer to sex offenders than you realize. A Channel 5 News investigation reveals how close they can come to children. We found one offender coaching Little League Baseball right here in the Valley.
Because I've heard of it. I've heard of these men and these people, but I've never been so close to anyone that I know of.
Well, we took concerns to lawmakers. Find out tonight why these sexual criminals are allowed to be part of your children's lives without letting you know. Your Child at Risk airs tonight on Channel 5 News at 10. Well, again, going back to our story from just a moment ago, this just into our newsroom, a 25-year-old man from Port Isabel is missing. Our Shelley Childers joins us live. Shelley, what can you tell us about this story?
That's right. Police here in Port Isabel are actively searching for that 25-year-old missing man. His name is Rogelio Martinez Palestina. These are pictures of him sent to police by family members. He was last seen on Tuesday, December 3rd. Police tell us family members found his vehicle abandoned in Laguna Heights the very next day on Wednesday, December 4th, near a brushy area. Today, police used a cadaver dog and a helicopter to search that wooded area. They tell us they found nothing. Again, police need your help this evening. They need to find missing Rogelio Martinez Palestina. The 25-year-old is from Port Isabel. If you have any information, you're asked to call police here. That phone number is 943-1242. From reporting live in Port Isabel, Shelley Childers, Channel 5 News at 5.
The holiday season is a time of giving. It's also a time for taking. The FBI warning holiday shoppers about cyber and telephone criminals. Our John Bartel is in our studio with tips on how to protect yourself. John?
Yeah, here at Channel 5, we review every tip that comes into us. In the past few weeks, we've received dozens of complaints on suspected criminals trying to take your hard-earned cash, whether it comes from over the phone, email, or internet. And the FBI tells us that they've seen the increase too. The pizza business depends on electricity.
All our product, all our food will go to waste, and we're going to have to throw everything out.
New business owner David Ventura had a little scare last week. An imposter called him up and demanded a power bill payment, or Ventura's electricity would be disconnected.
What he tried to do was try to get me to send him $897 through a green card.
David dug through his records and found that he had already paid the bill.
It wasn't legitimate as far as what he's trying to get, almost $900.
Ventura's power provider informed him that he may have been a target of telephone criminals. Channel 5 has been bombarded with similar stories. We've received dozens of phone calls and emails this holiday season regarding all types of fraudulent attacks.
We have a surge of scammers who are online looking for the perfect victim.
FBI agent Michelle Lee knows all about malicious attacks.
We estimate that there are billions of dollars that are lost every year.
The holiday season is a busy time of year for online, phone, and internet attacks. Here's a list of some of the top 4 holiday attacks put out by the FBI. Number 1 involves falsifying classified ads or auction sales. 2 is theft with phishing or social networking attacks. Third on the list is fake or counterfeit gift cards. And lastly on the list, the FBI is warning about phony telephone billing and promotions, just like the one Ventura fell victim to.
Utility companies or any legitimate businesses, they will send you a notice in writing before they ever call you and ask you to pay for something.
Awareness this holiday could save you from a big loss. The FBI says it can be extremely hard to catch these criminals. That's why they need your help from the victims to file reports of the scams on their scam safety webpage. Now, the more data that they collect will help them track down these bad guys. We'll put a link to the FBI's webpage on our website, krgv.com. In the studio with John Bartel, Channel 5 News at 5.
And here are some other ways to protect yourself this holiday season. The experts say don't click on links that are in unsolicited emails. Head directly to businesses and official websites. Make sure you contact the business that sends you the email directly, and avoid filling out forms contained in emails. And lastly, if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Get a second look at all our top stories online at KRGV.com and stay up to date with what's going on by downloading our KRGV app. Any smartphone user can download it.
Is right during this difficult time to keep this country strong and secure.
The head of the CIA defending the agency and agents amid criticism of the ways they got information out of terror suspects. More of what he had to say in a hearing in 2 minutes. And Congress finds a budget to fund the government for 1 year, losing support fast from both sides for different reasons. Details when Channel 5 News at 5 returns.
Breaking news. Breaking stories. This is Channel 5 News with Oscar Adame, Melissa Correa, and First Warn 5 Weather with Chief Meteorologist Tim Smith. This is Channel 5 News at 5.
A T-shirt resembling those worn by a Mexican armed civilian group turned up in downtown McAllen. The organization is known for defending itself against drug cartels. The T-shirt, that is, was nailed to a tree. The front of it reads, "Por un Tepalcatepec libre." The back says, "Grupo de Autodefensa." They're worn by citizens, particularly farmers and ranchers who formed this self-defense group. We reached out to law enforcement to find out what it means and who might have put it there. That story is coming up on Channel 5 News at 6. Well, the director of the CIA, John Brennan, is standing by his agents who carried out what he calls enforced interrogation tactics. The release of a Senate report on the agency torture tactics is leading to criticism from around the world. Senator Dianne Feinstein, who released the report, says those tactics never amounted to any useful information. Brennan said there was no way of knowing.
The cause and effect relationship between the use of EITs and useful information subsequently provided by the detainee is, in my view, unknowable.
Brennan was quick to add the majority of the CIA agents carried out their duties and responsibilities within the law, and they only did what they were asked to do for their nation. House Republican leaders delayed a vote on a vital spending bill today. It would fund the government for 1 year. Support is eroding for the measure. Lawmakers from both parties citing problems with the $1.1 trillion bill. The money to fund the federal government technically runs out at midnight, but lawmakers could work out a temporary measure that would give Congress through the weekend to work out a plan.
Protects jobs, it stops wasteful spending. In fact, we've now reduced overall discretionary spending some $176 billion since the 2010 fiscal year.
Some Republicans in the House expected to oppose the measure because it doesn't block the president's executive actions on immigration and also funds Obamacare. Any measure in the House still needs approval from the Senate. We'll be right back.
Now get only at Lax.
Hey folks, temperatures holding steady in the 70s across the valley right now. That's about as warm as it got today. Clouds have kind of dominated all day long. Weather bug at the coast. East LeGrand Beach Resort looking back across the bay shows cloudy skies there. 68 degrees, winds about south at 9 miles an hour, but the clouds really dominating things. Look back at the cloud cover picture. You see what we're talking about. Those clouds just continuing to move across the valley. And we've seen spotty sprinkles mostly in the northern half of the valley. And then to the north of us, we've seen some as well. But again, most of it staying north of us. Here it's just been kind of a sprinkle or two, and that's really just about it. You can see that upper air disturbance moving across Texas as we speak. Now, Future Track says we continue to see clouds here tonight, tomorrow, and beyond. We don't see things breaking anytime soon. Just kind of overcast skies and that spotty, misty drizzle from time to time, and even that is probably overplaying. We're talking a sprinkle or two, nothing more than that. By Sunday, there's a front in Texas. That front gets to the valley probably late Monday, might trigger a shower. Looks like now, though, the clouds hang in there, even behind that front. Cooling, yes, a little bit, but not dramatically so. 63 tonight, a sprinkle or two. Tomorrow, back to 76. The clouds still dominating the weather scene all the way into and through the weekend. Now, I think there could be an isolated shower Sunday or Monday either day, but it's a little bit cooler Tuesday and Wednesday. Highs then only in the low 70s. That's your updated First 25 forecast.
A Region 1 program is training teachers on how to better instruct their students. Here's Letty Garza in Gear Up.
These are educators from one end of the valley to the other, all of them hungry to learn about how to best teach their students about financial literacy. The actual conference held at Region 1 in Edinburgh is called Moolapalooza. Moolapalooza, you ask? What does that have to do with financial literacy? According to Gear Up representatives, absolutely nothing. They tell us it's just a silly name for a very serious topic. They wanted this teachers conference to have a fun feel to it. Region 1 implemented fun, interactive lessons about this very serious subject.
I think what we are seeing today here as a result of what Gear Up is presenting is an eye-opener, and not only for the sake of knowing what is there for kids, but ultimately for adults. You know, we need to know as much more now than ever because of the time and the changes, but ultimately just knowing that what we are going to learn is going to make each and every one of the adults that are going to serve kids a better and more prepared individual to guide them with the right information.
Helping to put together today's event was banker Cynthia Kalapa Graham. She's part of a committee created by U.S. Congressman Ruben Hinojosa.
Well, the Deep South Texas Financial Literacy Alliance has been in operation essentially since 2012, where Congressman Hinojosa got us all together and we formed this committee. And essentially the committee is comprised of bankers and community leaders that have a passion for financial literacy. And so we were all operating independently and providing financial literacy to our communities. And so now working with Region 1 Gear Up, we work in collaboration to in coordinated efforts to deliver financial literacy across several counties.
Masso says her students at Mercedes High School are beginning to get more curious about financial literacy.
I think a lot of them are in the process of just kind of like, so tell me more about it. They haven't really digested it all because ultimately we haven't fully locked it in as a course per se. But because of House Bill 5, we're definitely going to integrate it as a course, as a mandate prior to graduation, so that in turn everyone is getting that true knowledge before they leave, because like that everyone will be in the same playing field once they walk out those doors.
Next week, the nuts and bolts of financial literacy now provided to all of our Gear Up students here in the Valley. I'm Letty Garza with Gear Up at Region 1 in Edinburgh.
local A&W.
A middle school in PSJA about to be torn down as some of its former students return to reminisce and say goodbye. Here's Rick Diaz and Con Mi Gente.
Hi there. It was a special Saturday morning. They came to walk the old hallways and discover some things have changed.
Oh, I don't remember that.
That's her classroom.
Welcome back home, Austin Bruin alumni and guests.
Maybe there were staff or students at different times. But Austin Middle School of San Juan at one time was their school. Built in 1969, it was a time when they were called junior high schools.
At one point in time, this was the junior high of our district, and we took great pride in it, and so we created a lot of memories, a lot of friendships.
Lisa Navarro is the principal.
Time ago, right?
Also enjoying the memories is Eliasa Romero, a former principal.
Bring back a lot of memories. Yes, sir. I really enjoyed every minute. In fact, right now, I miss all the kids we used to have.
Incidentally, Eliasa Romero is the uncle of Lisa Navarro. And some wanted to share the experience with their own now grown families.
So, class of 1983, I got my shirt. I'm a little late turning it in, but I had wood shop. And in 1983, this was our project, which was a jewelry box. So I'm going to turn it in and maybe get an A.
And there's Jesus Sanchez, a teacher here for 27 years.
Go ahead.
I remember putting my desk right here. And sometimes I had up to 30 kids, so it's a great thing feeling to come into this room.
Practicing football in the backyard where the new school is now. So yeah, it was fun, a lot of fun.
We're ready. Our little building here is basically on its last leg. Things break down, things need to be repaired.
The new school is being built right next to the old one. And there's Felipe and Ana Ortega. They met and became boyfriend and girlfriend here.
Remember back then we used to call it going around. We started going around when I was in 8th grade and she was in 7th grade here.
So today they brought their granddaughter to the reunion.
He was a keeper from the very beginning.
And I know that we're going to create new traditions, and this will be for a new generation to come.
School memories. For Channel 5 News, I'm Rick Diaz, Con Mi Gente.
Clouds sticking around the valley the next few days. We see a few breaks over the weekend, but not many. Count on clouds kind of dominating. A weak front Monday cools it off a little bit for the middle part of next week. An update for you at 6.
And thank you for joining us. Hope you can check in with Channel 5 News at 6 in 30 minutes. Have a great evening.